Welcome to this exam review from Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and don't miss what's happening in the lower corner of the screen. It could be just the thing you need to pass your exam. Let's get started.
Let's begin with a review of property ownership concepts and rules. Bundle of rights and property rights concepts. What is included in the bundle of rights associated with property ownership? Is it A, right to possess, control, enjoy, exclude, and dispose? B, right to possess, control, and sell only? C, right to exclude, enjoy, and lease only? Or D, right to control, lease, and mortgage only? The answer is A, right to possess, control, enjoy, exclude, and dispose. The bundle of rights includes the right to possess, control, enjoy, exclude, and dispose of the property. These rights are fundamental to property ownership. A homeowner decides to lease their property to a tenant. Which right from the bundle of rights is the homeowner exercising? Is it A, right to exclude, B, right to control, C, right to enjoy, or D, right to possess? The answer is B, right to control. Leasing a property involves the right to control and dispose of the property temporarily, allowing another party to use it.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Which of the following is not typically considered part of the bundle of rights in property ownership? Is it A, right to exclude, B, right to dispose, C, right to enjoy, or D, right to inherit? The answer is D, right to inherit. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, the bundle of rights includes rights related to property use and control, but not the right to inherit, which is a separate legal concept. Real versus personal property, fixtures, and trade fixtures. What is the primary difference between real property and personal property? Is it A, real property is immovable, while personal property is movable? B, real property can be moved, while personal property is immovable? C, both real and personal property are immovable? Or D, both real and personal property are movable? The answer is A, real property is immovable, while personal property is movable. Real property includes land and anything permanently attached to it, while personal property is movable and not attached to the land. A tenant installs a custom display case in a rented retail space. Upon lease termination, can the tenant remove it? Is it A, no, because it is now part of the real property? B, yes, because it is a trade fixture? C, no, because it was installed by the tenant? Or D, yes, but only if the landlord agrees? The answer is B, yes, because it is a trade fixture. Trade fixtures, like display cases, are considered personal property and can be removed by the tenant at lease end. Which of the following is considered a fixture rather than personal property? Is it A, a refrigerator in a kitchen, B, a freestanding bookshelf, C, built-in kitchen cabinets, or D, a portable air conditioner? The answer is C, built-in kitchen cabinets. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Fixtures are items that were once personal property, but have become real property through attachment. Estates, interests, and forms of ownership: sole, joint, tenancy in common, community property. What type of ownership allows each owner to have an undivided interest in the property, but not necessarily equal shares? Is it A, joint tenancy, B. Tenancy in common. C. Community property. Or D. Sole ownership. The answer is B. Tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows owners to have unequal shares, but each has an undivided interest in the property. This means they all have equal rights to use the entire property. Alice and Bob own a property as joint tenants. Bob decides to sell his interest to Carol. What is the new form of ownership between Alice and Carol? Is it A. Joint tenancy, B. Community property, C. Tenancy in common, or D. Sole ownership? The answer is C. Tenancy in common. When Bob sells his interest, the joint tenancy is severed. Alice and Carol now own the property as tenants in common, each with an undivided interest. In a community property state, which of the following is true about property acquired during marriage? Is it A. It is owned solely by the spouse who earned the income? B. It is automatically considered separate property? C. It must be titled in both spouses' names to be considered community property? Or D. It is generally owned equally by both spouses? The answer is D. It is generally owned equally by both spouses. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, community property laws can vary, but generally, property acquired during marriage is owned equally by both spouses, regardless of whose name is on the title.
Finding this exam review helpful? If you haven't already, like and subscribe for more videos that'll get you ready to pass.
Encumbrances, easements, and liens. What is an easement in real estate terms? Is it A. A type of property ownership, B. A legal right to use another's land, C. A financial claim against a property, or D. A restriction on property development? The answer is B. A legal right to use another's land. An easement is a legal right to use another's land for a specific, limited purpose. It does not grant ownership, only usage rights. A homeowner discovers a neighbor's fence encroaches onto their property. What type of encumbrance does this situation represent? Is it A. Encroachment, B. Easement, C. Lien, or D. Covenant? The answer is A. Encroachment. An encroachment is an unauthorized intrusion onto another's property, often requiring legal resolution. Which of the following is not considered an encumbrance on real property? Is it A. Mortgage, B. Easement, C. Restrictive covenant, or D. Fee simple title? The answer is D. Fee simple title. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, all options except one are common encumbrances. A mortgage is a lien, an easement is a usage right, and a restrictive covenant limits property use. A fee simple title is full ownership without encumbrances. Land use controls and regulations. Public controls, police power, zoning, building codes, eminent domain, and taxation. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws? Is it A. To increase property taxes, B. To regulate land use and development, C. To enforce building codes, or D. To manage traffic flow? The answer is B. To regulate land use and development. Zoning laws are designed to regulate land use and ensure that land is used in a way that is consistent with the community's development plans and goals. What does the term eminent domain refer to? Is it A. A zoning restriction, B. A tax incentive, C. The government's power to take private property for public use, or D. A building code requirement? The answer is C. The government's power to take private property for public use. Eminent domain is the power of the government to take private property for public use, with compensation to the owner. A homeowner is informed that their property will be acquired by the city for a new highway. What legal principle allows this action? Is it A, eminent domain, B, police power, C, zoning laws, or D, building codes? The answer is A, eminent domain. Eminent domain allows the government to take private property for public use provided the owner is compensated fairly. Which of the following is not a function of police power in land use regulation? Is it A, zoning enforcement, B, building code enforcement, C, health and safety regulations, or D, taxation? The answer is D, taxation. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Police power encompasses a wide range of regulatory activities, but it does not include the power to levy taxes. Private controls, deed restrictions, CC&Rs, HOAs. What is the primary purpose of CC&Rs in a residential community? Is it A, to provide tax benefits to homeowners, B, to establish property boundaries, C, to maintain property values and community standards, or D, to manage public utilities? The answer is C, to maintain property values and community standards. CC&Rs, or covenants, conditions, and restrictions, are designed to maintain property values and ensure a uniform appearance in a community by setting rules that homeowners must follow. A homeowner wants to build a shed in their backyard, but the HOA has specific guidelines. What should the homeowner do first? Is it A, start building the shed immediately, B, review the HOA's guidelines for sheds, C, ask neighbors for advice, or D, ignore the guidelines and proceed? The answer is B, review the HOA's guidelines for sheds. The homeowner should review the HOA's guidelines to ensure compliance before proceeding with construction to avoid potential fines or required removal. Which of the following is not typically enforced by an HOA? Is it A, architectural design standards, B, landscaping requirements, C, parking regulations, or D, local zoning laws? The answer is D, local zoning laws. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, HOAs enforce many rules, but they do not typically enforce local zoning laws, which are managed by municipal governments. Environmental regulations and disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Environmental Protection Agency in relation to land use controls? Is it A, to enforce regulations protecting human health and the environment, B, to provide financial incentives for land development, C, to manage state-level zoning laws, or D, to oversee urban planning and design? The answer is A, to enforce regulations protecting human health and the environment. The EPA's primary purpose is to enforce regulations that protect human health and the environment, including overseeing compliance with environmental laws related to land use. A developer plans to build a residential community near a wetland. What environmental regulation must they consider before proceeding? Is it A, Endangered Species Act, B, Clean Water Act, C, National Environmental Policy Act, or D, Safe Drinking Water Act? The answer is B, Clean Water Act. Developers must consider the Clean Water Act, which regulates discharges into wetlands and requires permits for certain activities. Which of the following is not typically required in an environmental disclosure for a property transaction? Is it A, presence of lead-based paint, B, asbestos-containing materials, C, radon levels, or D, owner's financial history? The answer is D, owner's financial history. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, Environmental disclosures can vary by state, but typically include known hazards like lead or asbestos, not unrelated financial information. Valuation and market analysis. Appraisal process and principles of value. What is the principle of substitution in real estate appraisal? Is it A, a property's value is determined by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property? B, a property's value is determined by its historical cost? C, a property's value is determined by its potential future income? Or D, a property's value is determined by its location and amenities? The answer is A, a property's value is determined by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property. The principle of substitution states that a property's value is determined by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property. Which principle of value suggests that the value of a property is influenced by the cost of acquiring a similar property? Is it A, principle of conformity, B, principle of substitution, C, principle of progression, or D, principle of regression? The answer is B, principle of substitution. The principle of substitution suggests that a property's value is influenced by the cost of acquiring a similar property. A homeowner is considering selling their property and is told by an appraiser that the value is based on the cost of acquiring a similar property. Which principle is the appraiser using? Is it A, principle of anticipation, B, principle of contribution, C, principle of substitution, or D, principle of balance? The answer is C, principle of substitution. The appraiser is using the principle of substitution, which bases value on the cost of acquiring a similar property. In real estate appraisal, which principle might lead to an overestimation of value if not properly considered? Is it A, principle of substitution, B, principle of contribution, C, principle of conformity, or D, principle of anticipation? The answer is D, principle of anticipation. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, the principle of anticipation can lead to overestimation if future benefits are overvalued. Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. What is the primary purpose of the sales comparison approach in real estate valuation? Is it A, to estimate property value based on recent sales of similar properties, B, to calculate the cost of replacing the property, C, to determine the income potential of a property, or D, to assess the depreciation of a property? The answer is A, to estimate property value based on recent sales of similar properties. The sales comparison approach estimates property value by comparing it to similar properties that have recently sold. It is based on the principle of substitution. Which of the following is a key component of the cost approach to real estate valuation? Is it A, net operating income, B, replacement cost, C, comparable sales data, or D, capitalization rate? The answer is B, replacement cost. The cost approach involves estimating the replacement or reproduction cost of the structure minus depreciation plus land value. A property investor is evaluating a rental property using the income approach. What is the most important factor they should consider to determine the property's value? Is it A, recent sales of similar properties, B, replacement cost of the property, C, net operating income, or D, depreciation of the property? The answer is C, net operating income. The income approach focuses on the property's ability to generate income, making the net operating income a critical factor in valuation. In the sales comparison approach, Why might adjustments be made to the sale prices of comparable properties? Is it A, to account for market trends? B, to reflect changes in interest rates? C, to include the cost of improvements? Or D, to account for differences in property features? The answer is D, to account for differences in property features. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Adjustments are made to account for differences between the subject property and comparables, such as location or features, which can be subtle and vary greatly. CMA, Comparative Market Analysis, and BPO, Broker Price Opinion. What is the primary purpose of a comparative market analysis in real estate? Is it A, to determine the exact market value of a property? B, to estimate the value of a property based on similar recent sales? C, to assess the condition of a property? Or D, to calculate the cost of property improvements? The answer is B, to estimate the value of a property based on similar recent sales. A CMA is used to estimate the value of a property by comparing it to similar properties that have recently sold in the same area. It helps sellers set a competitive price and buyers make informed offers. A real estate agent is preparing a broker price opinion for a bank. The property is in a declining market. What should the agent consider when determining the property's value? Is it A, only the original purchase price of the property? B, the cost of recent renovations? C, recent sales of comparable properties and market trends? Or D, the owner's desired selling price? The answer is C, recent sales of comparable properties and market trends. In a declining market, the agent should consider recent sales of comparable properties, market trends, and any factors that might affect future property values to provide an accurate BPO. Financing. Loan types, sources, and characteristics. What is a characteristic of a fixed-rate mortgage? Is it A, the interest rate remains constant? B, the interest rate fluctuates with the market? C, the loan term is always 15 years? Or D, payments increase over time? The answer is A, the interest rate remains constant. A fixed-rate mortgage has an interest rate that remains constant throughout the life of the loan, providing predictable monthly payments. Which type of loan is typically used for purchasing a home with a low down payment? Is it A, conventional loan? B, FHA loan? C, jumbo loan? Or D, VA loan? The answer is B, FHA loan. FHA loans are government-backed and allow for lower down payments, making them accessible for first-time homebuyers. What is a primary feature of an adjustable-rate mortgage? Is it A, fixed interest rate for the loan's duration? B, interest rate changes annually? C, interest rate adjusts periodically? Or D, interest rate decreases over time? The answer is C, interest rate adjusts periodically. ARMs have interest rates that can change periodically based on an index, affecting the monthly payment amount. A buyer is considering a VA loan. What is a key benefit they should be aware of? Is it A, lower interest rates than all other loans? B, no need for credit checks? C, guaranteed approval for all veterans? Or D, no down payment required? The answer is D, no down payment required. VA loans are available to eligible veterans and often require no down payment, making homeownership more accessible. Which loan type is specifically designed for rural property buyers? Is it A, FHA loan? B, USDA loan? C, VA loan? Or D, conventional loan? The answer is B, USDA loan. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. USDA loans are less well known than FHA or VA loans, which can lead to confusion about their specific purpose.
Finding this exam review helpful? If you haven't already, like and subscribe for more videos that'll get you ready to pass.
Financing and Lending Regulations, TILA, RESPA, ECOA, CFPB. What is the primary purpose of the Truth in Lending Act? Is it A, to ensure transparency in lending practices? B, to regulate interest rates on loans? C, to provide insurance for borrowers? Or D, to establish credit scoring standards? The answer is A, to ensure transparency in lending practices. TILA is designed to promote informed use of consumer credit by requiring disclosures about terms and costs. It ensures transparency in lending practices. Which regulation requires lenders to provide a loan estimate within 3 business days of receiving a mortgage application? Is it A, TILA, B, RESPA, C, ECOA, or D, CFPB? The answer is B, RESPA. RESPA mandates that lenders provide a loan estimate to help consumers understand key features, costs, and risks of the mortgage loan. Under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which of the following is a prohibited basis for credit discrimination? Is it A, credit score, B, income level, C, national origin, or D, employment status? The answer is C, national origin. ECOA prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, or age. A borrower receives a closing disclosure and notices a discrepancy in the interest rate compared to the loan estimate. What regulation ensures the borrower can address this issue? Is it A, ECOA, B, CFPB, C, RESPA, or D, TILA RESPA Integrated Disclosure? The answer is D, TILA RESPA Integrated Disclosure. TILA RESPA Integrated Disclosure rules ensure borrowers receive accurate information and can address discrepancies before closing. Which entity is primarily responsible for enforcing the regulations under the Truth in Lending Act? Is it A, Federal Reserve Board, B, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, C, Federal Trade Commission, or D, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency? The answer is B, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The CFPB enforces TILA, but other entities like the Federal Reserve Board also have roles, which can confuse test takers. Primary and secondary mortgage markets. What is the primary function of the secondary mortgage market? Is it A, to originate new loans directly to borrowers, B, to provide liquidity by purchasing existing mortgages, C, to set interest rates for new mortgages, or D, to insure mortgages against default? The answer is B, to provide liquidity by purchasing existing mortgages. The secondary mortgage market provides liquidity to the primary mortgage market by allowing lenders to sell mortgages, thus freeing up capital to issue more loans. A lender sells a bundle of mortgages to an investment firm. What role does this transaction play in the mortgage market? Is it A, it is a secondary market transaction providing liquidity, B, it is a primary market transaction involving loan origination, C, it is a government intervention to stabilize the market, or D, it is a refinancing of existing loans? The answer is A, it is a secondary market transaction providing liquidity. This transaction is part of the secondary mortgage market where existing loans are sold to investors, providing liquidity to lenders. Which entity is most commonly associated with buying mortgages in the secondary market? Is it A, Federal Reserve, B, Ginnie Mae, C, Fannie Mae, or D, HUD? The answer is C, Fannie Mae. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are both involved, but Fannie Mae is often more recognized for this role. Financing calculation, LTV, interest, points, PITI. What is the loan-to-value ratio if a borrower takes out a $150,000 loan on a property valued at $200,000? Is it A, 50%, B, 75%, C, 80%, or D, 100%? The answer is B, 75%. LTV is calculated by dividing the loan amount by the property value. Here, $150,000 divided by $200,000 equals 0.75, or 75%. A homeowner pays $1,200 monthly for principal and interest, $300 for taxes, and $100 for insurance. What is their total monthly PITI payment? Is it A, $1,400, B, $1,500, C, $1,600, or D, $1,700? The answer is C, $1,600. PITI stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Add $1,200, P&I, $300, and $100 to get $1,600. If a loan has 2 discount points, how much will the borrower pay in points on a $200,000 loan? Is it A, $1,000, B, $2,000, C, $3,000, or D, $4,000? The answer is D, $4,000. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Discount points are often confused with interest rates. Each point is 1% of the loan amount. Here, 2 points equal $4,000. General principles of agency. Agency relationships and duties. What is the primary duty of an agent to their principal in an agency relationship? Is it A, loyalty, B, compensation, C, indemnification, or D, reimbursement? The answer is A, loyalty. The primary duty of an agent is to act in the best interest of the principal, which includes loyalty, obedience, and full disclosure. Which of the following is not a fiduciary duty owed by an agent to a principal? Is it A, confidentiality, B, accounting, C, indemnification, or D, reasonable care? The answer is C, indemnification. Fiduciary duties include loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. Indemnification is not one of them. In an agency relationship, what does the duty of disclosure require an agent to do? Is it A, keep all information confidential, B, inform the principal of all material facts, C, act in their own best interest, or D, ensure the principal's property is insured? The answer is B, inform the principal of all material facts. The duty of disclosure requires agents to inform the principal of all relevant information that might affect the principal's decisions. A real estate agent discovers a defect in a property they are selling. What is the agent's duty regarding this information? Is it A, ignore the defect as it is not their responsibility, B, only disclose the defect if asked by the buyer, C, repair the defect themselves, or D, disclose the defect to potential buyers? The answer is D, disclose the defect to potential buyers. Agents must disclose all known material defects to potential buyers to ensure informed decision-making. An agent receives a better offer for a property after accepting an initial offer. What should the agent do? Is it A, automatically accept the better offer, B, ignore the better offer, C, inform the principal of the new offer, or D, cancel the initial offer? The answer is C. Inform the principal of the new offer. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The agent must honor the initial agreement unless the principal decides otherwise. The agent should present the new offer to the principal, but cannot act on it without the principal's consent. Disclosure, confidentiality, and conflict of interest. What is the primary duty of an agent in a fiduciary relationship? Is it A. Act in the best interest of the principal? B. Maximize personal profit? C. Disclose all confidential information? Or D. Act independently without consulting the principal? The answer is A. Act in the best interest of the principal. An agent's primary duty in a fiduciary relationship is to act in the best interest of the principal, ensuring loyalty and care in all dealings. Which of the following is considered a conflict of interest for a real estate agent? Is it A. Representing a buyer and seller in separate transactions? B. Representing both the buyer and seller in the same transaction? C. Referring a client to a mortgage broker? Or D. Providing market analysis to a client? The answer is B. Representing both the buyer and seller in the same transaction. A conflict of interest arises when an agent has a personal interest that could interfere with their duty to the principal. An agent learns confidential information about a client's financial difficulties. What should the agent do with this information? Is it A. Share it with potential buyers to expedite the sale? B. Discuss it with other agents in the office? C. Keep it confidential unless legally required to disclose? Or D. Use it to negotiate a better deal for the client? The answer is C. Keep it confidential unless legally required to disclose. An agent must maintain confidentiality and not disclose the client's financial difficulties unless required by law or with the client's consent. In a dual agency situation, what must an agent ensure to avoid conflicts of interest? Is it A. Only represent the buyer's interests? B. Only represent the seller's interests? C. Disclose all information to both parties? Or D. Obtain informed consent from both parties? The answer is D. Obtain informed consent from both parties. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, dual agency can be confusing because it involves representing both parties. The agent must obtain informed consent from both parties to avoid conflicts. Types of listing and buyer agreements. What type of listing agreement allows a seller to list their property with multiple brokers and only pay a commission to the broker who successfully sells the property? Is it A. Open listing? B. Exclusive right to sell? C. Exclusive agency? Or D. Net listing? The answer is A. Open listing. An open listing allows a seller to list with multiple brokers, paying a commission only to the one who brings a buyer. A buyer signs an agreement with a broker that specifies the broker will be compensated only if the buyer purchases a property shown by that broker. What type of agreement is this? Is it A. Exclusive buyer agency agreement? B. Open buyer agency agreement? C. Non-exclusive buyer agency agreement? Or D. Dual agency agreement? The answer is C. Non-exclusive buyer agency agreement. This is a non-exclusive buyer agency agreement where the broker is paid only if they are the procuring cause of the purchase. Which type of listing agreement might a seller choose if they want to retain the right to sell their property themselves without paying a commission? Is it A. Exclusive right to sell? B. Open listing? C. Exclusive agency? Or D. Net listing? The answer is C. Exclusive agency. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The term exclusive might mislead you. An exclusive agency listing allows the seller to sell independently without paying commission. Property disclosures. Property condition and material facts. What is a material fact in real estate transactions? Is it A, a minor cosmetic issue? B, a structural defect? C, the color of the walls? Or D, the age of the appliances? The answer is B, a structural defect. A material fact is any information that could influence a buyer's decision to purchase a property. This includes defects or issues that affect the property's value or desirability. A buyer discovers after closing that the basement floods during heavy rain, but the seller did not disclose this. What is the buyer's likely recourse? Is it A, sue the seller for non-disclosure? B, request a refund from the real estate agent? C, do nothing as the sale is final? Or D, file a complaint with the local housing authority? The answer is A, sue the seller for non-disclosure. The buyer may have grounds to sue for non-disclosure if the seller was aware of the flooding and failed to disclose it, as this is a material fact affecting the property's condition. Which of the following is not typically considered a material fact that must be disclosed in a real estate transaction? Is it A, presence of lead-based paint? B, termite infestation? C, zoning changes affecting property use? Or D, the seller's reason for moving? The answer is D, the seller's reason for moving. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. It tests understanding of what constitutes a material fact. While all options may seem important, only issues impacting value or desirability are material facts. Environmental issues: lead paint, mold, radon, asbestos. What is the primary health risk associated with lead paint in residential properties? Is it A, respiratory problems? B, skin irritation? C, neurological damage? Or D, cancer? The answer is C, neurological damage. Lead paint can cause serious health issues, particularly in children, such as developmental delays and neurological damage. A buyer discovers mold in the basement after purchasing a home. What is the most likely reason the seller should have disclosed this issue? Is it A, mold is considered a material defect? B, mold is a common issue in all homes? C, mold is not a concern if it is in the basement? Or D, mold only needs to be disclosed if visible? The answer is A, mold is considered a material defect. Sellers are typically required to disclose known environmental hazards, like mold, as they can affect the property's value and habitability. Which environmental hazard is most likely to be found in older insulation materials? Is it A, lead? B, radon? C, mold? Or D, asbestos? The answer is D, asbestos. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Asbestos is often found in older insulation materials, but the question could mislead by mentioning other hazards like lead or radon, which are unrelated to insulation. Disclosure obligations of licensees. What is the primary obligation of a real estate licensee when it comes to property disclosures? Is it A, to ensure the property is sold at the highest price possible? B, to disclose all known material facts about the property? C, to provide a detailed history of the property's ownership? Or D, to guarantee the property is free of defects? The answer is B, to disclose all known material facts about the property. Licensees must disclose all known material facts about a property that could affect its value or desirability to potential buyers. A buyer asks a licensee about potential flooding issues in a property. The licensee knows the area is prone to flooding, but the property has not flooded recently. What should the licensee do? Is it A, assure the buyer that there are no flooding issues? B. Refer the buyer to local flood maps without further comment. C. Disclose the known flooding risk in the area. Or D. Ignore the question as the property has not flooded recently. The answer is C. Disclose the known flooding risk in the area. Licensees must disclose any known material facts, including potential flooding risks, even if the property has not recently flooded. If a licensee is aware of a minor defect in a property that the seller has not disclosed, what is the licensee's obligation? Is it A. The licensee should ignore it if the seller hasn't disclosed it? B. The licensee should only disclose it if asked by the buyer? C. The licensee should report it to the real estate board. Or D. A licensee must disclose it to potential buyers. The answer is D. The licensee must disclose it to potential buyers. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, licensees must disclose all known material facts, even if the seller has not disclosed them. The defect's impact on the property's value or desirability determines its materiality.
Finding this helpful? Hit like and subscribe so you'll be the first to see new exam prep videos on the topics you need to master, all with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.
Contracts. Contract elements and classifications. Which of the following is a necessary element for a contract to be considered legally binding? Is it A. A verbal agreement, B. Consideration, C. A witness, or D. A notary public? The answer is B. Consideration. Consideration is a necessary element for a contract to be legally binding, as it involves something of value being exchanged between the parties. In contract law, what is the term for the party who makes an offer? Is it A. Offeror, B. Offeree, C. Obligor, or D. Oblige? The answer is A. Offeror. The party who makes an offer in a contract is known as the offeror. A homeowner verbally agrees to sell their house to a buyer, but later decides not to sell. What is the likely legal status of this agreement? Is it A. Legally binding, B. Voidable, C. Unenforceable, or D. Valid? The answer is C. Unenforceable. Verbal agreements for the sale of real estate are generally unenforceable due to the statute of frauds, which requires such contracts to be in writing. Which classification of contract is created when one party makes a promise in exchange for an act by another party? Is it A. Bilateral, B. Implied, C. Express, or D. Unilateral? The answer is D. Unilateral. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, the distinction between unilateral and bilateral contracts can be confusing. A unilateral contract involves a promise in exchange for an act. Offer and acceptance, termination, and breach. What is the legal effect of a counteroffer in contract negotiations? Is it A. It accepts the original offer, B. It terminates the original offer, C. It has no effect on the original offer, or D. It automatically leads to a breach of contract? The answer is B. It terminates the original offer. A counteroffer terminates the original offer and creates a new offer. The original offeror can then accept, reject, or counter the new offer. Alice offers to sell her car to Bob for $5,000. Bob responds by saying he will buy it for $4,500. What is the status of Alice's original offer? Is it A. Alice's offer is still valid, B. Alice must accept Bob's counteroffer, ... C. Alice's original offer is terminated, or D. Alice's offer is automatically accepted? The answer is C. Alice's original offer is terminated. Bob's response is a counteroffer, which terminates Alice's original offer. Alice is not obligated to sell the car for $5,000 anymore. If a contract specifies that acceptance must be in writing, what happens if acceptance is given orally? Is it A, the contract is automatically breached? B, the contract is valid and enforceable? C, the acceptance is valid if both parties agree? Or D, the acceptance is invalid? The answer is D, the acceptance is invalid. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Oral acceptance might seem sufficient, but if the contract requires written acceptance, oral acceptance is invalid. Types of real estate contracts: listing, buyer representation, sales, option, lease. What type of real estate contract allows a buyer to purchase a property at a future date for a predetermined price? Is it A, listing agreement? B, option contract? C, lease agreement? Or D, buyer representation agreement? The answer is B, option contract. An option contract gives the buyer the right, but not the obligation, to purchase the property at a set price within a specified time frame. Which type of contract is used to establish the terms between a landlord and the tenant? Is it A, sales contract? B, option contract? C, lease agreement? Or D, listing agreement? The answer is C, lease agreement. A lease agreement outlines the terms and conditions under which a tenant rents a property from a landlord. A buyer signs a contract with an agent to exclusively represent them in purchasing a home. What type of contract is this? Is it A, listing agreement? B, sales contract? C, option contract? Or D, buyer representation agreement? The answer is D, buyer representation agreement. A buyer representation agreement is a contract where an agent agrees to represent a buyer in purchasing a property. Which contract type involves a seller agreeing to pay a commission to an agent if the agent finds a buyer, but allows the seller to sell the property independently without paying a commission? Is it A, open listing? B, exclusive right to sell? C, exclusive agency? Or D, net listing? The answer is A, open listing. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The open listing agreement allows sellers to sell independently without paying a commission, unlike exclusive agreements. Transfer of title. Deeds and title transfer requirements. What is the primary purpose of a deed in real estate transactions? Is it A, to transfer ownership of real property? B, to provide a loan for purchasing property? C, to assess property taxes? Or D, to insure the property against damage? The answer is A, to transfer ownership of real property. A deed is a legal document that transfers ownership of real property from one party to another. It serves as evidence of the transfer of title. John is selling his house to Mary. What document must John provide to legally transfer the title to Mary? Is it A, a mortgage agreement? B, a deed? C, a lease agreement? Or D, a title insurance policy? The answer is B, a deed. John must provide a deed to Mary to legally transfer the title of the property. The deed acts as the official document of transfer. Which of the following is not typically required for a valid deed? Is it A, the deed must be in writing? B, the deed must be signed by the grantor? C, the deed must be delivered to the grantee? Or D, the deed must be recorded? The answer is D, the deed must be recorded. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. While a deed must be in writing, signed, and delivered, recording is not a requirement for validity. though it provides public notice. Title insurance, recording, and constructive notice. What is the primary purpose of recording a deed in public records? Is it A, to provide constructive notice of ownership? B, to ensure the property is free of liens? C, to determine property taxes? Or D, to confirm the property's market value? The answer is A, to provide constructive notice of ownership. Recording a deed provides constructive notice to the public of the property's ownership, protecting the owner's rights against future claims. A buyer purchases a property and receives a deed but does not record it. Later, the seller fraudulently sells the same property to another buyer who records their deed. Who has the stronger claim to the property? Is it A, the first buyer, because they received the deed first? B, the seller, as they sold the property twice? C, the second buyer, because they recorded their deed? Or D, neither, as the sale was fraudulent? The answer is C, the second buyer, because they recorded their deed. The second buyer has the stronger claim because they recorded their deed, providing constructive notice of their ownership. Which of the following is not typically covered by standard title insurance? Is it A, forged documents? B, undisclosed errors? C, errors in public records? Or D, zoning changes after the policy date? The answer is D, zoning changes after the policy date. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. Title insurance covers many risks, but it does not cover issues arising after the policy date, such as zoning changes, escrow, settlement, and closing process. What is the primary purpose of an escrow account in a real estate transaction? Is it A, to provide a loan to the buyer? B, to ensure all conditions of the transaction are met before closing? C, to appraise the property value? Or D, to negotiate the sale price? The answer is B, to ensure all conditions of the transaction are met before closing. An escrow account holds funds and documents until all conditions of a real estate transaction are met, ensuring both parties fulfill their obligations before the title is transferred. A buyer and seller have agreed on a property sale, but the buyer's loan approval is delayed. What role does the escrow agent play in this situation? Is it A, the escrow agent approves the loan? B, the escrow agent negotiates new terms? C, the escrow agent holds funds until conditions are met? Or D, the escrow agent cancels the transaction? The answer is C, the escrow agent holds funds until conditions are met. The escrow agent holds the transaction funds and documents until all conditions such as loan approval are met, ensuring the transaction proceeds smoothly once resolved. During the closing process, who is typically responsible for ensuring that the title is clear of any liens or encumbrances? Is it A, the title company? B, the buyer? C, the seller? Or D, the real estate agent? The answer is A, the title company. Why this question may seem a bit tricky, the buyer might assume responsibility, but it's typically the title company's role to ensure the title is clear before closing. Practice of real estate. Fair housing and civil rights laws. What is the primary purpose of the Fair Housing Act? Is it A, to prevent discrimination in housing based on specific protected classes? B, to regulate the pricing of housing in urban areas? C, to provide housing subsidies to low-income families? Or D, to ensure all housing is built to a specific standard? The answer is A, to prevent discrimination in housing based on specific protected classes. The Fair Housing Act aims to eliminate discrimination in housing based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or disability. A landlord refuses to rent an apartment to a family with children, citing concerns about noise. Which law does this action potentially violate? Is it A, the Americans with Disabilities Act, B, the Civil Rights Act of 1866, C, the Fair Housing Act, or D, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act? The answer is C, the Fair Housing Act. The Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination based on familial status, which includes families with children. Which of the following is not a protected class under the Fair Housing Act? Is it A, race, B, religion, C, disability, or D, age? The answer is D, age. The Fair Housing Act does not include age as a protected class, unlike the other options listed. A real estate agent tells a client that a neighborhood is not suitable for families. What potential issue does this statement raise? Is it A, it suggests a preference for single individuals, B, it may imply discrimination against families with children, C, it violates zoning laws, or D, it breaches confidentiality agreements? The answer is B, it may imply discrimination against families with children. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The statement could imply discrimination based on familial status, which is prohibited under the Fair Housing Act. Advertising, antitrust, and ethical practices. What is the primary purpose of antitrust laws in real estate? Is it A, to regulate advertising standards, B, to prevent anti-competitive practices, C, to ensure ethical behavior among real estate agents, or D, to protect consumer privacy? The answer is B, to prevent anti-competitive practices. Antitrust laws are designed to prevent anti-competitive practices, ensuring fair competition in the marketplace. This includes prohibiting price fixing and monopolistic behaviors. A real estate agent is considering using a client's testimonial in an advertisement. What must the agent ensure before proceeding? Is it A, the testimonial is positive, B, the testimonial is factually accurate, C, the client has given consent, or D, the testimonial is recent? The answer is C, the client has given consent. The agent must obtain the client's consent to use their testimonial in any advertising to comply with ethical and legal standards. In real estate advertising, which of the following is considered unethical? Is it A, providing misleading information, B, using puffery in descriptions, C, highlighting property features, or D, using professional photography? The answer is A, providing misleading information. Why this question may seem a bit tricky. The term puffing can be misunderstood. While puffing involves exaggerated claims, it is not illegal. However, misleading information is unethical. Technology and data privacy in real estate practice. What is the primary purpose of using encryption in real estate transactions? Is it A, to speed up transaction processing, B, to protect sensitive information from unauthorized access, C, to comply with tax regulations, or D, to improve customer service? The answer is B, to protect sensitive information from unauthorized access. Encryption is used to protect sensitive information by converting it into a code, ensuring that only authorized parties can access it. This is crucial in real estate to safeguard client data. A real estate agent is using a new CRM software to manage client information. What should the agent ensure to comply with data privacy regulations? Is it A, the software is user-friendly, B, the software has a high customer rating, C, the software complies with data privacy laws, or D, The software is cost-effective. The answer is C. The software complies with data privacy laws. The agent must ensure that the CRM software complies with data privacy laws, such as GDPR or CCPA, to protect client information and avoid legal issues. Real estate calculations. Basic math concepts: area, volume, commission, prorations. What is the area of a rectangular lot that measures 150 feet by 200 feet? Is it A, 30,000 square feet, B, 35,000 square feet, C, 25,000 square feet, or D, 20,000 square feet? The answer is A, 30,000 square feet. The area of a rectangle is calculated by multiplying its length by its width. Here, 150 feet multiplied by 200 feet equals 30,000 square feet. A property was sold for $300,000, and the agent's commission rate is 5%. How much commission does the agent earn? Is it A, $10,000, B, $15,000, C, $20,000, or D, $25,000? The answer is B, $15,000. The commission is calculated by multiplying the sale price by the commission rate. Here, $300,000 multiplied by 5% or 0.05 equals $15,000. If a property is prorated for taxes at $1,200 annually, what is the monthly tax amount? Is it A, $1,200, B, $150, C, $100, or D, $200? The answer is C, $100. Why this question may seem a bit tricky: the annual tax must be divided by 12 to find the monthly amount. $1,200 divided by 12 months equals $100 per month. Investment and return calculations. What is the formula to calculate the capitalization rate in real estate investments? Is it A, net operating income divided by gross income, B, net operating income divided by current market value, C, gross income divided by net operating income, or D, current market value divided by net operating income? The answer is B, net operating income divided by current market value. The capitalization rate is calculated by dividing the net operating income by the current market value of the property. It helps investors assess the potential return on investment. An investor buys a property for $200,000 and expects an annual net operating income of $20,000. What is the capitalization rate? Is it A, 10%, B, 5%, C, 15%, or D, 20%? The answer is A, 10%. Why this question may seem a bit tricky: the capitalization rate is calculated by dividing the net operating income by the purchase price. Some might confuse it with dividing by potential future value. Basic licensing requirements and professional responsibilities. License types, qualifications, and renewal. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license in most states? Is it A, 16 years old, B, 18 years old, C, 21 years old, or D, 25 years old? The answer is B, 18 years old. Most states require applicants to be at least 18 years old to qualify for a real estate license. This ensures that individuals have reached the age of majority and can legally enter into contracts. Alex has completed all pre-licensing education and passed the exam. What is the next step Alex must take to obtain a real estate license? Is it A, start working with a broker immediately, B, retake the exam for a higher score, C, submit a license application to the state, Or D, wait for the state to contact them? The answer is C, submit a license application to the state. After passing the exam, the next step is to submit a license application to the state regulatory agency. This process includes providing proof of education and exam completion, continuing education, and disciplinary actions. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required annually for a real estate licensee to maintain their license? Is it A, 5 hours, B, 10 hours, C, 12 hours, or D, 15 hours? The answer is C, 12 hours. Most states require real estate licensees to complete a specific number of continuing education hours annually to ensure they stay updated on laws and practices. A real estate agent receives a notice of disciplinary action due to a complaint. What is the first step they should take to address this issue? Is it A, ignore the notice and continue working as usual? B, review the complaint details thoroughly? C, immediately contact the complainant to resolve the issue? Or D, hire a lawyer to handle the situation? The answer is B, review the complaint details thoroughly. The agent should first review the complaint details to understand the allegations and prepare an appropriate response or defense. Role of state licensing authorities, NAR and ARLO. What is the primary role of the National Association of Realtors in the real estate industry? Is it A, to issue real estate licenses? B, to establish a code of ethics for realtors? C, to regulate real estate commissions? Or D, to enforce state real estate laws? The answer is B, to establish a code of ethics for realtors. The NAR primarily provides a code of ethics and professional standards for its members, ensuring ethical conduct in real estate transactions. A real estate agent is unsure about a licensing requirement in their state. Which organization should they consult for accurate information? Is it A, State Licensing Authority, B, National Association of Realtors, C, ARLO, or D, Local Real Estate Board? The answer is A, State Licensing Authority. State licensing authorities are responsible for providing accurate information on licensing requirements specific to their state.
Thanks for watching. If you found this exam review helpful, be sure to subscribe for more real-world practice and topic-focused study videos. And visit Birdsy.ai to start your free trial of Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.